If you're finding that your customers are sometimes slow to pay your invoices, then you're absolutely going to want to set up invoice reminders in Xero. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. So from the Xero dashboard, we're going to press the button in the top left corner that's going to have your business name or your name, however you've set that up. And then we're going to drop down to settings. From settings, we're going to go to invoice settings. And here we're going to press the invoice reminders button. Now, as a default, invoice reminders isn't set up. So what we're going to do in the first instance, we're going to click this button here to enable invoice reminders. And then what we can do is we can edit and tweak them in a way that's appropriate for you and your business. So as a default, it's going to send an email reminder when it's 7, 14 and 21 days overdue. But we can edit those, we can add additional reminders as well. So if we have a look here first at the 7 days overdue, we've already got a default email here. What we can also do, where we've got this drop down overdue by, is a due in. So if you don't want to wait until your customers are overdue, if you want to get ahead of the game, you might want your first email to send out to them before it's due, more of a reminder than a chaser. So we could set it to send if an invoice is due in, and let's say 3 days time. And we could set this to whatever we want to say, just a friendly reminder that in 3 days time your invoice is due for payment, and we can set that up. Then what we can do is tweak this. So let's say actually this is going to be our 7 days overdue reminder, 14, and then take a view if you want to do it every seven days. So we could do 21, and let's add another. Let's call this one 45 days. And what we could also do is change the severity of the emails. So this might be a very friendly one, another friendly, and as we get along, it might be a bit more stern, depending on what you want to say to your clients, the way you want to do it. What you can also do is create it, and what a lot of business owners like to do is make it more automated. Normally as business owners we like to keep things very personal, but when it comes to chasing money we can feel a bit awkward about it. So editing it so that it maybe says auto reminder can take the sting out of chasing payments. An important thing to remember is that you need to reconcile your bank in Xero regularly, because even though a client might have paid you, if you haven't reconciled it in Xero, Xero won't know that they've paid, and they'll continue to chase your customer, which would be pretty bad for customer service. So just something to bear in mind as well, that if you're going to set quite tight deadlines of when these emails are going to go out, you need to make sure that you're staying on top of your bank reconciliations. Another points to be aware of here, so we can include a quick link to the invoice. I always recommend having a link to the invoice PDF as well, so that they can see that, and then you can choose where the reply is sent to. Another factor which I think is important to consider too is ticking this box which says it won't send a reminder if the customer owes you less than, let's say, £1, $1, whatever it is. Typically I set this to 5. Sometimes a client might underpay you just by a penny. It could be a rounding error. The last thing you want to do is send them out an invoice chasing for 1 pence or £1. So decide what figure you're comfortable with, and you can deal with that separately. Hit save, and you're all done.